What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am getting ready to take out the Focus RS. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't been here before, my name is Adam. I drive a Race Red 2018 Focus RS, and usually what sits right out here is a big turbo full bolt-on Legacy GT, but I've had a ton of issues with that car. So the center diff just went out, so we did replace that, and then as of 2 days ago, I heard a really funky noise going on, and it ends up that the turbo was being oil starved. The feed line that goes into the turbo is either clogged or needs to be replaced. But yeah, so my turbo is going out. I ended up finding a very inexpensive turbo. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Legacy, this is a VF40 housing, and it has a 20G scroll in it. That is what's in my current Legacy right now, but this one actually spools a little bit quicker than the one I have in it, so I'm really excited to get this installed and see what it does. So for now, I am back to daily driving the Focus RS because my Legacy GT is down. So I really love the Subaru, but as of lately, it just hasn't been reliable. But the point of today's video, I wanted to say thank you guys for all the constructive criticism and all the feedback you guys gave me on the last video I posted on selling the Focus RS, and I'm still not decided on what I want to do, but I appreciate your guys' feedback and all your positive input, and you guys giving me ideas of what I could do in the future. So I thought it'd be cool to make a video going over my options, what cars I'd possibly consider for the channel, because if I did sell this, I would definitely get some type of car that I could hopefully pay cash for, so that I would have that extra $1,000 a month to spend on a project car and not just throw money into a payment. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about a few of the cars that I would consider for the YouTube channel. Now, I haven't driven this car much, but I am at 10,628 miles. Let's do a nice little cold start, even though it's super, super quiet. Way too quiet. And I gotta go get gas. Always thirsty. This car gets terrible gas mileage. Alright, so I filled up the tank. If you guys were wondering, the Focus RS gets terrible gas mileage. I usually only get about 200 miles off of a tank, and I'm running 91. I always put Shell Premium in it, if you guys were wondering. So like I kind of said before, I was really nervous to post that video because I didn't know what your guys' response was gonna be to me considering selling the Focus RS. But honestly, you guys were much more supportive about it than I thought you were going to be. Now, a few people said keep it and don't sell it. It's such a nice car, and I honestly, like, one day I'll be really confident and, oh, I want to sell it, and then the next I'm like, but I really want to keep it because I love it and it's rare, and I do have fun driving it. It's reliable and fast, handles well. This car is so perfect in so many ways. And now that kind of brings me to my next point of, if I was to sell the Focus RS, what would I get to replace it? Now, there's only a couple of hot hatches in this segment that I would consider getting, but let's run through them one by one. Civic Type R. I love the Civic Type R. I've actually gotten to ride in a Civic Type R on a time attack track, and that car is nuts. It feels insanely fast, planted, handles incredibly well, and honestly doesn't feel like it's front wheel drive. Now, that could be because it has the limited slip differential, so you don't really get that weird torque steer, but man, the Civic Type R, awesome car, but you can't find those still for under MSRP or even at MSRP. Everybody's charging like $10,000 over the MSRP. And to me, even the 35 or 34,000, whatever they start out at, if I'm gonna buy a Honda Civic, I'm probably gonna go with an older EM1, which my buddy Dale has. If you guys wanna follow a nice EM1 build, go give him a follow. I really like the EM1s and do a build on that. So if I was to get an EM1, I could easily get a turbo kit for it. I could easily get some mods for it to make it absolutely rip. A lot of fun, very fast, and definitely affordable. So I would consider an EM1 or like an older EG hatch as well, because I think those, once you do a couple things to them, can look really nice. So for the money, I don't think I'd buy a Civic Type R. They just, as far as the looks go, they just don't do it for me. And if I'm gonna buy a Honda Civic with 300 horsepower, I'm gonna buy a Civic Si EM1 and just slap a turbo to it. So there's that. So the Civic Type R, it's such a cool car, but I probably wouldn't consider it for the YouTube channel or just for myself. And now we get to the VW Golf R. I'm not a huge fan of the way the Golf R looks. I think it's very, very underwhelming looking. It doesn't stand out very much on the road. Really, the only way you know the difference between a GTI and a Golf R is the wheels and the little Golf R badge. And it just doesn't do it for me. I think if I wanted an awesome daily driver that I didn't want to stand out, I would definitely consider the Golf R. And also if I wanted an automatic transmission and a hot hatch, that's your only option. So I would definitely go with the Golf R if I was looking for an automatic, but I'm not. I want my hot hatch to be manual, I want it to be fast, I want it to be fun. And while I think the Golf R is a great car, I just don't think it's for me. And now the one that every single person in Colorado Springs drives, the Subaru STI or a WRX. Now I know I have a Legacy GT, which I think are the best because they're a lot more comfortable, have a better interior, and they're way cheaper than a WRX. And my Legacy GT is stupid fast. But I did think about getting an older STI, like a Hawkeye, or even like one of the newer body styles with lower miles on it, because that'd be much cheaper than the Focus RS. But I still, an STI, it's such cool cars, but everybody drives them and they're just so hard to make stand out and make unique. A really tough spot. Now, in my price range, what I can afford, it's kind of that $30,000 to $40,000 hot hatch. And as far as everything that's new, this is really the only car that I can afford, and this is my favorite out of all four of them. So that's where I'm torn, and I'm like, well, I could get something older like an Evo 8 or 9, because every time I see an Evo going down the road, I absolutely break my neck to look at it, because I love Evos. I think Evos are some of the coolest cars. They're very dependable. The 4G63 is such a nice motor, and I think it'd be really fun to be able to do an Evo 8 or 9 build for you guys. For me, it'd be cool because I'd get to see my car change month to month, and with the Focus RS right now, I just drive it, and I love driving. Don't get me wrong, like the driving experience of the Focus RS is perfect, but as a car guy, as I'm sure a lot of you can relate, it's really nice to be able to mod your car. And now that I'm dumping $1,000 a month into the RS between insurance and car payment, it's a little bit harder to justify buying car parts. If I'm being 100% transparent with you guys, my two choices currently, if I was to sell the Focus RS, which I'm not 100% certain on yet, as I kind of told you guys in the last video, would be an Evo 8 or 9. An 8 would be more affordable, a 9 would be my preference. I'm not a huge fan of the Evo 10s. They're cool, but they just never really did it for me. So an Evo 8 or 9, pay cash for one of those, or I could get something much cheaper like an EM1 Civic Si or an EG hatch. And I'm not gonna get some beat up Civic. If I get one, I want it to be unmolested, stock. You know, I want that 92-year-old grandpa to have driven it since it was brand new. So if I go with that as a project car, I'll try and find a very, very clean one with moderate miles that's not been molested or has a fart can. Like, I want it to be a very clean build if I'm gonna go ahead and build a Honda. So at the end of the day, I'm still gonna do what I want, what I feel is best for my financial situation and for the YouTube channel, because I'm taking both into consideration, because I wanna keep you guys happy, I wanna keep you guys around, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have the subscribers that I do. So let me know what you guys wanna see on the channel. If it really is the Focus RS that you want to see, I have no problem keeping it. But if you want to see me do consistent mods, I can either sell the RS and just continue to build the Legacy and get some fun parts for that and see if we can get that built to like 400 wheel horsepower, or I can go ahead, keep the Legacy, and then start looking for an Evo 8 or 9 or a nice Civic. Because knowing me, I have to have all-wheel drive, or at least have to have one car that's all-wheel drive and turbo. So whether that be the Legacy, whether that be an Evo, I definitely need one of them. And then I think it'd be a lot of fun to build a Civic Si, whether it be an 8th gen, the EM1, an EG hatch. I'm not too picky. I do not like the EP3s. The EP3 Civic Si, not a pretty car in my opinion. Although they do have a bigger motor than the EM1. Just not a fan of the EP3. So you can get them a lot cheaper than you can the EM1s, but just not a fan of them. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what car you want to see me build. I know I've asked you guys this before, but now that I'm heavily considering selling the RS, I want your guys' opinion. I'm going to kind of take take all the advice, all the opinions I get, sum it up into one, and then we'll figure out if I'm gonna sell the RS or get a Civic Si or an Evo 8. This is gonna be a little bit shorter of a video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really sad that my Legacy GT is down, but I get to daily drive the Focus RS now and really see if I want to keep this car. So I do have the new turbo, like I showed you guys, to go into the Legacy GT. I'll have my other one rebuilt and we'll either swap that one back in or I'll just sell that to recoup the money that I spent on the new turbo. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. I will be posting more Legacy GT content in the near future. I'll also be doing some content with the Focus RS because track season's coming up, getting new tires for this, and hopefully a custom tune, and we're gonna absolutely send it. So if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.